industrial gloom, leaning on a pillar at the end of the world. Calculated logic versus hollow superstition. Greg is counting miracles while I'm counting proof. Biology is written in the necrosis of the cells. 3 days in the dirt is the end of the show. No divine reboot for a machine that's turned to rust. The forensics cold case is a pile of dust. Sundown take with a guy named Greg. Will the argument stand on its own leg? Watch the episode to see who wins. One will frown while the other just grins. Traded the laugh for the noise of the crowd. Psychological coping for a world turned upside down. Fanatical beliefs like a spear in the heart. Motivated reason tear reality apart. Eric Hoffer's ghost is whispering in my ear. They hold so dear. The analytical net finds the dung pile fallacy, bringing the fire to this dark mythology. Sundown takes a bet with a guy named Greg. Will the argument stand on its own leg? Watch the episode to see who wins. One will frown while the other just grins. Check the math, Greg. Check the math, Greg. 0, 0, it all comes to zero. No miracle here, just the end of a hero. Take your money, Greg. Keep the change for the next round. Cosmological constants, bring them on. Ta-ta for now.
Welcome, dear viewers. I am Elizabeth, coming to you from the rather comfortable confines of the Fourth Wall condominiums. Today we are accompanying our protagonist, Sundown Blackmoore, aka the Zero Stalker, on a little field trip. He has been cornered by a rather enthusiastic gentleman named Greg, a Christian apologist, who insists that the resurrection of Jesus Christ isn't a matter of blind faith, but a historically provable cold case. Greg has wagered $100 that forensic science will back him up. Sundown, never one to turn down easy money, suggested they take the claim directly to the experts. Let us see how the physics play out, shall we?
Thank you, doctors, for spending a few minutes with us. Look, it's simple cold case detective work. We have a victim, a missing body, and multiple eyewitnesses. Dr. Vance, as a forensic medical examiner, you know the Romans were expert executioners. Jesus didn't just swoon, he was dead. So if he's dead on Friday and walking around on Sunday, the only logical conclusion is a miraculous resurrection.
He is attempting to bypass the thermodynamic boundaries of cellular biology, Sundown. Remind them about the mechanics of necrosis. You cannot reboot a degraded engine.
Greg, we already agreed he was dead, but you're skipping the biological reality of what being dead means. Dr. Vance, what happens to human tissues after 72 hours without oxygen?
Total structural failure. Within minutes of cardiac arrest, oxygen deprivation causes irreversible brain cell death. After 3 days in a tomb, you aren't just dealing with a stopped heart, you're dealing with cellular necrosis, rigor mortis, and the onset of putrefaction.
So, without an external, non-physical intervention, can that biological machinery spontaneously restart?
Absolutely not. The universe operates under the causal closure of the physical. Every physical effect requires a physical cause. Spontaneous reanimation of necrotic tissue violates the foundational laws of thermodynamics. As physical evidence goes, it evaluates to a hard, definitive disproof.
Okay, fine. Naturally, it's impossible. That's why it's a miracle. But you can't ignore the testimony. 500 people saw him. The disciples were willing to die for this belief. Dr. Aris, people don't die for a lie. That testimony has to carry weight.
He is deploying an immunizing strategy. When the biology failed, he retreated to the noise of human testimony. Use the razor, Sundown. What is statistically more probable? A suspension of unalterable natural law or a glitch in human psychology?
People don't die for a lie they know is a lie, Greg. but they absolutely die for a delusion. Dr. Aris, as a behavioral expert, how do you evaluate eyewitness testimony that violently contradicts physical reality?
We evaluate it as a psychological coping mechanism. In behavioral forensics, we look at cognitive dissonance. These disciples had invested their entire identities into the belief that this man was the conquering Messiah. In psychological terms, they were operating at a state of absolute fanaticism. You should read Eric Hoffer's The True Believer.
I am writing that one down. Eric Hoffer's The True Believer. Okay. And what happens when that fanatical belief in their invincible conquering Messiah collides with the reality of a Roman crucifixion ending with a spear plunged into his heart?
Catastrophic psychological discomfort. To survive that trauma, the human brain will actively erase or distort reality. They engaged in pathologically active inference, hallucinating a signal to force their internal worldview back into equilibrium. The testimony isn't proof of a biological resurrection. It's proof of mass psychogenic trauma and motivated reasoning.
So, there's your cold case, Greg. The biology evaluates to 0. The psychological testimony evaluates to 0. And as we know from Boolean logic, piling up invalid deductive proofs in an OR gate permanently equals 0. Your miracle doesn't survive the analytical net.
Here's a $100 bill. I never welch on a bet, so keep the money. But this isn't over. Next time, I'm bringing the cosmological constants. You can't biological necrosis your way out of the fine-tuning of the universe.
I'll look forward to it.
And there you have it. The apologetic claim dragged out of the rhetorical fog and subjected to the unyielding light of physical law. A rather swift execution of the dung pile fallacy, wouldn't you agree? But do stick around. Greg seems intent on losing more of his disposable income to our friend Sundown, and I hear next week's episode involves the thermodynamic exhaust of the cosmos. Ta-ta for now.